fresh basil. Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. It's Robin Asbell, your plant-based chef, back again to share some of my best tips and tricks. And today I'm going to talk to you about fresh basil. Yes, right about now, oh my God, it smells like summer. Because it is. It's summer and it's time to deal with all that basil. Or at least go buy some at the farmer's market and put it up so you can have this incredible, lovely herb all winter long. So there's a lot of different ideas about how to put up basil, and I'm going to show you the best one. Let's call it my basil hack. I'm going to put this basil up in a way that's going to be super easy to use all winter long. And it's going to last the longest and be the nicest. So before you got here, I've got this beautiful bunch of basil, and what I did was just take those basils and strip the leaves off. Not much to it. I'm just stripping the leaves off and leaving the stems behind. Now sometimes if I'm really doing a lot of basil, I will actually save the stems to use for stock, right? So I've got these flavorful basil stems that you can then use to infuse a vegetable stock. Or you can compost them, it's up to you. And then I did a whole bunch of this before you got here so that you didn't have to watch me pick basil. So all I'm gonna do is put it in the food processor. And of course I rinsed it and spun it dry. And it doesn't matter how much you have because this isn't a recipe. We're just gonna put in as much olive oil as we need. Now, oftentimes people will make pesto and freeze it, and that's great, but it's going to last better if all you put in there is the basil and the olive oil. Garlic will break down quickly, salt will cause everything to break down more quickly, so you want to just put in the olive oil. So, couldn't be simpler. Now, in a food processor, you always start with the dry ingredients first, and get those ground up and processed to a nice paste before you add anything. Now you can, if you want to, again you can put in some pine nuts, pistachios, whatever it is you want to put in there. Or you can get crazy and do something, where you just make a concentrate for putting in spaghetti sauce and add some fresh oregano or other herbs that you like to pair with basil. Basil and oregano, that's pretty much a spaghetti sauce herb. So here we go. Got it kind of minced, but I'm going to keep processing just to get it really well ground down. And then I'm going to start drizzling in olive oil. Always use good extra virgin olive oil. You'll never be sorry that you used better olive oil. It'll have a little olive oil flavor. And we're just going to keep processing. Until you get a nice paste, which is literally what pesto means. Now, in the olden days, or in your kitchen, you can always use a mortar and pestle to make pesto. As you can see, I've just made this puree, so that whole bowl of basil turned into this little bit of puree, and that's good, right? It's going to take up very little space. So my trick is I'm going to put this into a freezer bag. I'm going to write on here, basil 2020. Of course, 2020 is the year we may all want to forget about, right? But we'll still eat the basil. I'm going to put this basil into this bag. And again, no salt, no garlic, just basil, olive oil, nothing else. Now you sometimes will hear a certain celebrity recommends using ice cube trays to do this. Now I've done that, and what you end up with is you have these cubes banging around in this bag with a lot of air exposed edges, and that makes it oxidize. They get kind of shaggy, they get kind of brown. In this, I'm going to flatten this basil out in this zip top bag, and I'm going to freeze it in a sheet. And what I'm going to end up with is this. This is a frozen sheet of basil, which I can break off a chunk of anytime I want it. I can just be making a soup or making some sauce, and I just open this baby up, break off a chunk, and there you have your summer goodness, all preserved, no air exposed, just nice and fresh basil flavor all year long. Technically, we keep our frozen foods for maybe 4 months tops, but it's happened to everybody. You find that stuff in there and it's still good. So, just to let you guys know, that's my special basil processing tip. Remember to use this in all your favorite sauces. You'll thank me when you lop a chunk off of this, throw it into a simple pasta, a soup, make a pesto with it if you want. You know, then you can take this basil later, grind up the garlic with it, all that stuff, add the salt then, right? And then you've got more versatility too. I could even kind of go with some other crazy flavors with this if I wanted, if I was going with some ginger and coconut milk or something. So by not adding any other seasonings to it, it's much more versatile. So this becomes this. And I hope you'll check out my book, Vegan Meal Prep, because that one's got lots of prep ideas that help you to get a fast meal on the table by just doing a little bit of work on the weekend. This is basically meal prep for the whole year. Well, happy August, and I thank you so much for coming to visit me again.